Welcome to Fine Tooth Combs. My name is Jamie. My voice sounds like this.
I'm Bunny. My voice sounds like this.
I'm Matt. My voice sounds like this.
I'm Janine. My voice sounds like this.
I'm Shandy. My voice sounds like this.
And I'm Jake. My voice sounds like this.
Hi guys, the whole gang's here. What do we do at this podcast, Shandy? What do we do? What's this podcast about?
Why are you singling me out? I didn't have my hand up.
Didn't know there was a
This
test.
isn't even a test, man. Come on. God. We talk about movies featuring or just with Jeffrey Combs. Combs?
Oh, punch.
I didn't come up with a punching rule.
Yeah,
You're susceptible.
There's all sorts of things. Yeah, so we watched the entire filmography of Jeffrey Combs in order.
that was more
Have a
succinct.
talk afterwards. Yeah, I don't know why I asked you, but I did.
We eat delicious food.
You knew
Eat
I
delicious
would know
food,
that.
and we have a rule, well, a general rule, that if we mispronounce his name, that we get a punch in the arm. Gloria, why do you keep hitting the table?
Trying to punch Shandy.
Yes, we have a house full of dogs and babies, so it's never a dull moment here. So we watched 1991's The Pit and the Pendulum. Officially into the 90s now for our movies. We weren't so sure with Bride of Reanimator. It sort of skirted the line between the decades.
Straddled the line.
This was another one by Stuart Gordon.
Stewie Gordo.
Yeah, Stewie Gords, who uses Jeffrey's basically his muse. The same way Uma Thurman is Quentin Tarantino's muse, or Attractive Blonde Ladies were Albert Hitchcock's muse.
Yeah.
It also
Great
has,
Johnny Depp.
of course,
Uncle Tito.
Oh yeah. It has Lance Henriksen.
Yep.
Our man Jeffrey.
Yep.
Uncle Tito
From Breaking Bad.
From Breaking Bad. What's her face? Frances. The old lady, Frances Bay.
Where do we know her
The old
from?
man can get.
Oh, Frances Bay. She was in Twin Peaks. She was in Happy Gilmore. But you probably know
The
her.
older lady.
Yeah, know her best from the Seinfeld episode where he steals the rye bread.
Yes.
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 She's the
That's
rye
where
A lot of bread stealing connection.
Oh yeah, I didn't think there was already a baker's connection. That's right.
There you go.
So this is also another Full Moon
Marble
Entertainment.
Rye.
Yeah, Marble Rye. Full Moon Entertainment, which was the same people that did Cellar Dweller and The Evil Clergyman.
Where was the cellar dweller again?
I believe he resided in the cellar. Is that correct?
That's
He was
where he
dweller.
was dweller.
Yeah, that's when he was dweller. In the
It
cellar.
doesn't stop being funny.
No,
Doesn't it?
Yeah, but they're the same company that did those, and they also did the Puppet Master series. And in why do I always forget Subhuman or something like that?
I
can't
have
remember.
theories as
I
to
just
why you
m-
forget.
I just remember the Puppet Master series. So we also talk about we tend to make a themed dish or something going on with the movie. So I think I coined the phrase last time. So how did we catastrophically change our blood sugar levels this time, Bunny?
This time I made coconut tres leches cake. I just typed in Spanish dessert into Pinterest
Why Spanish?
because this takes place in Spain during the Spanish Inquisition, and apparently this particular dessert is more Latin American. But I think we can all agree that the Catholic Church and the Spaniards really had a firm hand or a fist in Latin America, right? So I think this works. It's a meringue-based cake soaked in condensed milk and coconut milk.
Yeah, it was gorgeous.
It was good. It was a lot less sweet than the last diabetes-inducing dishes from the 50s.
It was much lighter than the
Yeah.
other ones, though the movie was much heavier.
That was much heavier. But then we
was a
also
good
had
trade-off.
a balance because Janine brought
What'd you
her
bring,
own
Janine?
themed dish, which was...
So I went a little more literal. I made a pit of hot artichoke dip, and the pendulum was the bread that we could not stop dipping back and forth and back and
Yeah.
forth into the...
Into our
Summer's
doom.
dips.
It was really good. Yeah, it was great that dessert was not as sweet as the last one we had, which had 5 cups of icing sugar in it. Didn't
This
it?
time it was 5 eggs, yeah.
5 eggs. Yeah, so 5 seems to be our thing.
Light
Yeah.
and fluffy.
A little more paleo.
Probably
A little more
five,
paleo. Yeah.
5 times 3 ounces of cream cheese in my...
Oh, it was your favorite cream cheese. Yours was really good. With all the cheese on top. Yeah, it was a bit of a cheese bomb.
It was a cheese
I
bomb.
loved
It
it,
was cheese bomb colored green basil spinach.
Destination.
It was delicious.
Cheese bomb!
Oh, you think about that, Rancid?
Yeah.
Wonderful. So,
Speaking of rancid, this movie.
yeah, guess we might as well get into the combs over. Who would like to start us off? How does this movie begin? I believe the year is 1492, and it says Spain.
Columbus is sailing the ocean blue.
That's right.
But
I could
this
say that, but I wasn't sure if it was 92 or not.
1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue.
There we go.
Yep.
And then,
It started out in a little bakery.
yeah,
They're just
Hubbins and wife.
Yep.
No, it did not.
No, it did not. Okay, you guys are failing.
You're so
So-
bad.
Already.
So
Start that.
I've seen this movie twice. So
Yeah, let Bunny take the wheel.
I'll take the wheels.
Smarty pants.
Jump in where necessary because I did need to go and tend to our child.
All of a sudden, there's an asterisk.
So what we actually start off is we're in some sort of crypt. I'm not really sure where. There's a bunch of noble people standing around a tomb
right.
that is being opened up by a very pissed off looking. Sorry, what's Lance Hendrickson? What's the guy's name?
Henriksen.
What's his name? Torquemada.
Torquemada, as played by
Lance Hendrickson.
Lance Hendrickson.
Yeah.
And basically they're posthumously declaring him a heathen.
They're not he's Lance Henrikson's character, Torquemada.
Yes.
Is declaring the person in the
person in the crypt.
The corpse, yeah.
Yes, of basically crimes against the church. So they take out the body, and his family is standing there, and him, the corpse, and the family is basically declared to be heathens. They're going to be cast out from the church, stripped of their possessions and their wealth, and then they strap up the corpse. They lash the corpse, which is quite amazing. Little bone pieces go flying everywhere. And then they make a super accurate clock using the bones, because they gather up all the bones, the skull, and
spinal
column, and
They
like
crush
a
it all
and they
into a
crush it
board.
all up and put it into an hourglass, which apparently equals 1 hour. So you need a femur, take note for Pinterest, a skull, and a femur, okay,
And spine.
and a spine.
Yeah.
You're gonna take 2 measuring cups and
Including
glue
wrench.
them together, mason jars, and that's gonna give you a really nice, accurate timepiece.
No, the way this whole scene plays out, someone made a comment on IMDb that if you only saw these first 3.5 minutes, you would think this movie was a comedy. Because it's all these people
It's a
in
little
like,
cheese ball.
It's
arsenic
a
face
slapstick,
paint,
right? Like this
whipping a skeleton. Who
he
else
goes
is
to
it?
tie his arms together and he breaks off one of them and looks at him like, "What should I do now, boss?" It's
Yeah, it's pretty comedic.
We got an all-star cast there. We got our man Jeffrey's there. We got
Yeah.
Lance Henriksen, of course.
Oh,
we got,
he's wearing the most amazing glasses.
what's Jeffrey look like?
Those glasses
He
are
looks
not
like
1492.
Little boy blue. Like he's wearing one of those page outfits with like the little poofy hat and like black tights, like
he
leggings.
looks like Little Boy Blue
Yeah.
dressing up to be a sexy librarian.
A goth
Yeah.
little boy blue.
a goth
He's
little
wearing
boy blue.
he's wearing Janine from Ghostbusters glasses.
There's that famous woman. She's like known for her style. Maybe you know Shandy. She wears the really big glasses.
What's her name?
She passed away, I think.
Starts with a T, or
Yeah, it doesn't. Whatever.
Yeah.
Point is,
But he's got this crazy little. He's always got these little round, really thick glasses, almost look like stereotypical nerd glasses you would get from
Only
Spencer's.
round.
They're from the 80s.
Yeah, and always looking at his ledger and writing things down.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure we saw a pair of skate shoes as well.
Was he wearing skate shoes?
Like he's wearing Vans.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure if it was Jeffrey wearing them.
What? I didn't even notice
the
that.
corpse.
The corpse, when they pulled him out, had like shoes on it. I was like, yeah, that looks totally
The
like
corpse is wearing
Vans.
deck shoes. But it was also Mark Margolis is in it.
Yes.
Who was from Breaking Bad. He was Uncle
Uncle Tio, Salamanca.
Yeah, the guy. But yeah, he was also in Oz. I believe he was the head of the Italian mafia in Oz.
Yeah.
And he's been in a million other things. Those are the things I can remember. But
So
full
that
form. So they basically they accuse that. They take all of his family's possessions and they start.
basically show that they're completely corrupt and they do what they want.
Yeah, so
and,
I think we can surmise from this that Stuart Gordon doesn't think particularly highly of the Inquisition. Like he sort of.
I'm sorry. Are there people that think
do?
highly of the Spanish Inquisition?
I'm sure there's sections of Reddit where people are saying.
That's fair. That's fair.
Sure.
And then that segues into the credits, right? So then we have our credits.
Yes.
We're at the credits.
Yeah, we're at the
Okay.
credits.
So that was
Moving over.
that's the scene, right? And now we're in the bakery,
Yeah.
where we're introduced to Maria, who
Yeah,
is
it's
like
an instant cop of feel right out.
yeah, like totally like Madonna Italian, and I don't mean Madonna like
The singer.
Vogue. I mean like the Madonna, right?
Yeah.
Lovely dark hair and eyebrows, milky complexion, really nice
Her name was
bosom.
Rona Dorici, is her name.
So, yeah, straight up Italian.
Yeah, and I believe it was his name, Antonio?
Yeah, it kind of looks like a John Hamm, I thought.
Yeah, his name is Jonathan Fuller, apparently.
That's the husband?
The husband.
Yeah, he was. Someone mentioned it during the movie. He's kind of like
Timothy
Timothy
Oliphant.
Oliphant.
from the-
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like, he was
Sarah looks good.
Yeah.
And so she's needing the dough, and then he starts coming in and needing
her dough.
bread.
Yeah. And she's like, hey,
They start going at it.
Yeah.
He says, look, we have all our whole lives to
Love each other.
to love each other.
But
on
the
pounds
bread
of
needs
flour.
to come out of the oven right now.
Because
Yeah.
we're in debt.
Yeah, they're in debt. They've got to like get the bread to the market, and she doesn't want to go because they're going to be doing public burnings of witches, and so she's not super stoked on going. And he's like, "Hey, we got to sell the bread."
Yeah, even though they are both against what the Inquisition is doing.
Yeah.
Like secretly, whenever they mention though, it's always with hushed tones or looking
Yeah.
around because in the Inquisition you cannot express any sort of dissent or anything like that.
Yeah. And that's really
Tread
important for
very
what happens.
carefully.
Tread lightly. They were the absolute power. It's hard for people to think about that, but this is at a time where it was much more important what church you belonged to rather than maybe what city or nation state you were from. It was more important that you were Catholic rather than.
And they are
Spanish.
very Catholic because we do see a scene of her. She gets down. She hears the bells tolling, right? And she gets down on her hands and knees and starts praying, right? For for deliverance for all the people that are being wrongly executed by the Inquisition.
Yeah.
And so then they gather up all their bread and they go out to sell it. And there's a bit of a scuffle, right?
Some kids, some street urchins, with
questionable
questionable virtue.
steal his bread. He chases after them, the baker man. Baker man's wife chases after him, and then they were gonna, I guess, skedaddle before the
They were
burnings
trying to
happened.
sell their bread and fuck off before the burnings happened.
Yeah. But she gets swept up in the crowd as he's trying to gather up his stolen bread. Gets swept up into the crowd, and now they're both carried into the square where the burnings are going to happen.
Yeah.
And
Aren't they also whipping a little boy?
Well,
there's
that's
assorted.
all about to happen.
Yeah. So there's a witch is getting tied up. She's going to be burnt. Her son is going to be whipped because guilt by association. And she's basically like, the baker wife is like, screw this. This is bullshit. I'm not liking this. This is cruel. Let's get out of here. And the Inquisition guards are like, hey, if you leave, you're basically admitting your own guilt because you need to stay here and support this.
Yeah, are you a heretic?
Are you a heretic?
Yeah.
And
No.
so they're like, okay, well, I guess we'll stay. And she has really poor impulse control because as they're whipping the boy, she just can't take it anymore, and she runs out. She's like, no, don't whip him, don't whip him. And
Show mercy.
Show mercy, and then
she is. You're sort of glancing over. She's pushed to the brink because there's also the scene where the woman, the witch who's accused, gives that man the ring and says, "Please don't let me be burned alive." So then he takes a rope and
I didn't know how detailed you want to go.
strangles her and then carries her around the
Let's try to get to the meaty bits here.
Are there meaty bits?
Oh, there are meaty bits.
Okay.
It's mostly a lot of what we were just talking about. I felt.
Yeah, so she screams mercy, and instantly, because she made a spectacle of herself, you must be a witch.
You must be a witch.
How dare you have compassion for another witch?
Yeah.
You must be a witch.
Or how
There's
dare
no
you
other
question
explanation.
The church is never wrong.
Yeah.
And this is where we really get our first glimpse at Lance as Torquemada. And how is he playing this character, Matt?
To the walls.
He is how Jeffrey is Jeffrey.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
is. He's 10 Jeffreys.
He just barks every line that he has. It's like
His face acting,
Stallone, and
He's got a really wicked deep cloak with a really deep hood. He's got his head shaved except for that little ringy thing and a little tough.
The little friar hairdo.
Yeah, just a tiny little thing. And he's just belting out his lines, chewing his scenery. As we said, earning every penny for this movie.
There's at least a couple of really nice close-up shots of him delivering some of his lines really heavily, and the veins in his face and his expression, the sweat that's on his brow, everything
He's trying
is
to take a shit.
yeah, it's very
Filming the
like,
scene.
oh god, scary and well done. I don't
He just has a kind of face. That's I think why he always plays in sort of supernatural religious stuff, because he just has that like terrifying.
Yeah.
Oh, I
And
follow
face.
Lance Henriksen everywhere. If you started a cult, I'm there.
I'm there for
Sign
the
me up.
Kool-Aid.
I
I'm
don't
wearing the
wanna be
white
on the bad
sneakers.
side.
I'm
riding
buying
that
the
comet.
first sacrificial dagger they have.
And I think he does a really good job too. Like, is he crazy? Is he actually having a spiritual connection? His talent, his intensity beguiles
But I think Stuart Gordon is pretty clear in saying that these guys are just
Oh, absolutely.
Fanatics.
wicked shitheels.
Yeah. Wicked shit heels.
They're like wicked.
Wicked shit heels.
Yeah.
Well, this is based somewhat in truth in the sense that at that time, these people that were in charge of the Inquisition were doing these heinous things.
Oh, yeah.
They were doing it under the guise of, this is what I need to do. This is better for people. So even though these awful things that a normal person
That's
you'd
more
think would
my
be able
point,
to
yeah.
look at it and go, this is disgusting, this is awful, how could you do this to another person? The belief in their religion or in their practices were so strong
Yeah.
that they felt that these murderous, torturous things
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
weren't actually
they were
bad.
justified.
They're very
Their middle
justified.
management in a pyramid scheme. They think they're gonna make it.
No, it's a triangle. It's a triangle.
It's not a pyramid. It's a
It's
triangle.
not a triangle.
Oh, it's different.
But that's sort of my point, though, Jake. Like, I'm agreeing with you. Is that his intensity? Is it his intensity of belief or is it intensity of delusion?
Yeah, is he actually a psychopath with belief, or is it just
the belief
the belief
alone.
that power? Oh, it's
Yeah.
absolutely
matter.
insane.
Well, it's just
He's
curious.
a-
It's just
yeah,
curious,
yeah.
right? Like, is he just nuts, or
So-
is he just a fervent believer? And yes, there's some definitely overlap. So I'm
So
gonna draw
the
a Venn diagram here for you.
The wife gets hauled away.
Yeah, and
The husband
has
wakes
been-
up in the
but he's been
square.
knocked-
No, we forget what happens with the husband because a guy comes back on a horse and comically
Oh yeah, yeah.
bumps him on the top of the head
Yeah.
with his sword like he was a Gilligan's
Taps him.
Island.
Yeah.
and he's out, and they all think he's dead.
That's right, because some guys try to steal his
Yeah.
boots, but they take
Maria.
Maria, spicy tomato.
Why didn't they just take his codpiece? That was
No.
the best part of his outfit.
The
Yeah.
codpiece does stay
Because
on
there
this
would
man
have
the
been no
entire
movie
time. It's a
match.
strange. Is it leather? I don't know what
It's
it is.
Totally
leather.
leather.
It is a leather
Leather.
codpiece over black leggings.
An odd choice for a baker man.
You gotta keep those,
Well,
keep them safe from the ovens.
You don't want to rest your balls on the hot stove for too long.
No, that's day one lesson right there.
When he was
Probably-
baking, he was wearing like white, cloaky thing, right?
You could probably
That
go to the
doesn't
market
provide
back at that time and get Inquisition kits. In the event you're captured, you should be wearing this.
Yeah.
That way the hot seat won't hurt as much.
Oh, we'll get to that.
Having trouble with boiling oil down the throat?
Yeah, no problem.
There we go.
So we're taken to the table where you've got the surgeon, you've got Jeffrey,
Oh,
whose
but
friend sit. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
then the husband, when he wakes up, he comes in and seeks an audience with
Torquemada.
Torquemada,
yeah.
and says like,
T-Dot.
yeah, he's like, hey, my wife's no witch.
Yeah.
I've known her for a year.
Yeah.
almost
It's the
a
worst
year.
argument.
I know. We've been married for like a year. Come on.
I know everything.
And he's like, you're under your spell. Everything that you say in her defense is now.
Yeah.
Is
doesn't
now,
matter.
Is now evidence against her. It's
Yeah.
this wonderful circular argument and double
Yeah.
think.
And there is
And
nothing
he,
you can say.
he also
Yeah.
says, you purport to be able to know which better than we do.
Yeah.
Like, you're just
And
a
trust
bumpkin.
in your church.
Trust in your
And
church.
that very same thing, the whole trust in your church, is still prevalent today. They still use it, just maybe not for such heinous crimes, but it's still there.
The
It's
same
like,
logic.
don't question
Yeah,
what
don't,
we're
don't,
doing.
Don't question.
It makes no
what
sense,
would you
but
know
don't
about that,
question. Yeah, don't question.
There are some.
Nothing. Nothing. Oh God.
So where are we after that? Do we go to the point where it's the table where it's Jeffrey,
Well,
the surgeon?
And but before that, we get a scene with the girl and
That's
the
right.
old witch in the prison, and the old witch is like, "Hey, this is you got the conch on the head. That's what they did to me too. Let me put some spider webs in there."
That's gonna seal that up real
yeah,
good.
Francis
Yeah.
May. And it's like, are
Then
you
we
a
find,
witch?
we find out that old lady is real witch.
Yes.
Or at
And she's
least
like,
And that
believes
she
herself to
means
be.
she's a midwife.
Yeah.
And she
Yeah, pretty much.
And
Yeah.
she grows
She
her
deals with herbs.
Yeah,
That's
she works
essential.
mostly in the medium of herbage.
yes. Yeah.
Witch / gardener.
So she was
Yeah.
a pharmacist. I smoke a lot of weed.
Deliver
I'm a
babies,
witch.
kiss the devil's cock. You know, same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, but she learns that she is a witch, and she's sad that the little girl, Maria, isn't one. But she says, like, I'm not evil. I'm just a simple healer who tries to help people. And I can feel it in you, though, Maria. You have the
gift.
shining, the gift, whatever you want to call it.
The
shitting.
The touch.
9 to 5 is Willie's time.
Yeah.
So yeah, she went, and then after that.
Isn't she called for an audience before Torquemada?
No. Before
No,
that,
it's
do we
the-
see the body dumping scene where the husband tries to sneak in? Or
I think
is that
that's after.
that's after?
Okay, this is where I'm gonna tap out because now it starts to get fuzzy because I'm busy raising a person.
Okay.
So now we have the torture scene, right, where she gets called in to witness the torture of another guy.
Well,
The old lady.
They come to the table first, and they see if she is a witch. So,
Yeah. Oh yeah, the examiner.
So the surgeon, Jeffrey's there taking notes. Torquemada / Lance Henderson is chewing on the scenery, and they're basically, and what's his name? Not Carlos Gomez, the chief torturer guy. And they're all there on their table and sort of haphazardly talking about it, and they strip her down just because Stuart Gordon wants to have nudity in his movie.
Oh, they need to search her body
Yeah.
for marks of the devil.
So looking for marks of the
a third tit.
Yeah, a third tit that
Or-
defeats the devil. Anything. A
Tramp
mole,
stamp.
a mole, everything, but she's perfect. And they can't find anything, so what does the head of the guard do? He pinches her.
Yeah, look, there's a mark.
Yeah.
And they all like, look, yeah, it wasn't there before. It's in front of me.
Yeah.
Andy,
All right,
Torque, he sort of has a thing for her. As soon as he sees her naked, it's like the thoughts are starting to come. Like he likes what he
Starts
sees.
picturing her as the Virgin Mary.
Yeah, he's having impure thoughts. So he's
And so he gets Gomez to like come over and like he sticks his fingers in his stigmata, and then
Yeah.
Torquemada like whips him on it underneath his like stabby corset.
Oh, Mendoza, you mean, like the other guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, he gets him that, and he whips him. He takes off his clothes and wants him to beat him. We
got
think
like
he's
a
wearing
leather girdle or
Yeah,
something.
he thinks he's wearing a girdle, but inside there's like spikes, so he's been wearing that painful thing.
And he's constantly in
then he
pain, yeah.
smashes a vase, kneels down on it, and gets him to whip him.
It's all fucked
He's
up.
into some shit.
He's a fanatic. That's what fanatics like to do.
Yeah.
He's a
It's in the manual.
masochist.
Yes.
So then the husband is doing his best to sneak in. His big brilliant idea is he's got to get his wife out, so he's got to sneak in. He bribes the body,
man,
the
yeah.
body dumper.
Gomez, yeah.
He brings all the bodies out on the cart and dumps them in the pit. So he's like, here, blah, blah, blah. Pitches him his story. He's like, okay, hide it underneath my cart. He's like, hang on tight. So he wheels him into the prison.
I thought he was gonna bonk his head going up those stairs.
And it's pretty comical too, because the two guards that open the doors to let them come in as he's wheeling the cart by, it's very clear there's a person. It's not hidden at all.
Yeah.
This is the person right there.
Even when he drops him off and gets him off, it's in the middle of the room where they were looking at Maria, and they're all just sitting at the table gambling. And we keep seeing lots of Stuart Gordon try to drive home that these guys are hypocrites because they're gambling, they're lusting, they're doing all the things they're not supposed to be doing.
Typical Catholic stuff.
Yeah,
We
especially.
don't really see him raping any little boys, but
No.
So the husband's on the prowl
That
looking
would have
for
made
his
this movie
wife.
light.
And
just what we did.
Yeah.
ends up finding her in a room. Oh, through the door. So he opens the door. Hey, yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
As soon as he opens the door, the guards are all there and on them.
Gomez, the guy he paid off, betrayed him.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's not like we didn't see that coming, but so okay, he's captured. So they go to their respect. They're all separated and whatnot. And this is where
The actual torture.
the torture scene where they're gonna gargle with some water in a funnel.
They start waterboarding the old witch.
Yeah.
They won't let her confess.
and this is also where they give us the information that there's actually a systematic chain of events that need to happen for you to confess. It's not like, oh, we're just going to chuck you in and torture you. It's like, no. You need to watch.
Level 1.
You're only at level 1, so you are not allowed to be tortured yet.
Yeah.
You are not allowed to be asked the question.
And they're not allowed to take confessions that aren't a result of torture.
because you might be just confessing to avoid torture.
Yes.
Oh, as opposed
So
to
there
what you
is
would be
the-
doing after while you were being tortured.
You're stuck in a big fat catch-22. There is no
Even
way
though
out.
they
You-
assume you're guilty regardless because they can't
Yeah.
be wrong.
yeah.
Basically, the second you're captured, you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you will be tortured. You can confess.
Yeah.
They'll torture you quite heavily just to make sure that confession is accurate.
Yeah.
Or you can deny, and they're going to torture you quite heavily to make sure that your denial is to get a confession. It's just, you're fucked.
Yeah, totally.
So they're making her watch this. They're gargling. They're waterboarding the old witch and almost kill her. Like stop something. She looks like she's drowned. So
Maria cries out.
Maria cries out again. She can't hold her tongue.
Yeah.
Can't stand this human torture
Can't
thing.
hold her tongue.
Please stop. Please stop. Oh. And this is when Mr. Stigmat, I don't remember the name, but
Mendoza.
yeah, he kind of loses his mind a little bit and grabs her and throws her on the rack.
And Jeffrey's like, no, she's level 1.
Yeah,
like,
she's level 1. You can't do this. You
Yeah.
can't do
It's
this.
clearly not part of the procedure, guys.
Too bad. Look at her. She sups with the devil or whatever. We know this for sure. She needs to be asked the question. So he just kind of jumps the gun and does it anyway. All the while, Torquemada, I don't remember.
Torquemada.
Yeah.
I love that you get it wrong every time.
Yeah, he's up in the window. He's got a little peephole in his stained glass windowed office
Yeah.
where he can watch the whole thing, and he is watching this all happen.
It's super creepy.
And then they start racking her, Maria.
Yes.
And during the most painful part, when she's all stretched out, she kind of, I would assume she faints. In her mind, she goes to just a nice, lovely, grassy knoll, and there's the old witch, and she's talking to her and saying, like, this is where you come, and there's no pain. When you go back, it'll all be over.
That's right, yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. And she's like, what? And then she has this moment where she's, like, going to look down, and it kind of dawns on her that this is in her head.
She can't feel the ground.
Yeah, she's like, I feel, don't look down, don't look down. Oh, you look down.
Yeah.
Now you're back in your tortured body. Oh, too bad for you. And then this is when Torquemada comes down.
Damn it, you got it right.
And he unstrap her. What are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? So
Oh, that's right. He comes and goes, stop.
yeah.
Yeah, he makes his crazy noise.
I am the Lord.
Yeah, and so he gives them shit for what are you doing? She's not level 2 yet. This isn't supposed to happen. So he takes her into his private chambers now.
Yeah, he does. He takes
Just
her up
to
the
talk
same-
to her,
yeah.
and I'm going to take your confession, but really I want to have my way with you.
Yeah, he's torturing himself
Yeah.
as well as her.
Yeah, so she's up in his stained glass chambers, and he's trying to be all sweet and nice to her and have a conversation, which obviously ends with, please confess.
Yes.
We just need your confession. But I'm not a witch. She's, oh, shit.
Yeah. Well,
All right.
That's going to be a problem.
Yeah, well then we're right back to where we started, aren't we?
And then he takes her to the eye chamber with the window, and so that she can see
The husband.
the husband being tortured because he got captured. And,
Yeah, and now he's sitting in the hot seat where it's basically build a fire under his arse. But he's got this big leather cup that he's wearing that apparently is fireproof.
that was its enchant.
Yeah.
Its enchant was like
it's
-5 to balls.
It's got a +2 against fires.
Yeah. So he's sitting there not flinching, and so basically
Laughing like crazy. He's like, I don't feel anything.
you guys are gonna need a
Something's
bigger
wrong with your
fire.
chair.
Yeah.
So they decide, oh yeah, we need to check the chair, maybe. So they pull him out, but in doing so, that's his chance.
Yeah.
And he fights them all off, and eventually grabs a ladle, a massive
Oh
ladle,
my God, the ladle.
full of hot oil, gets rid of
Throws
one,
it in Gomez's face.
and then fights off 6 or 7 others that all have swords.
Yeah.
And he's ladle bashing.
Power of
Yeah.
the god piece.
Yeah, he just like the man learned
+5
with the
stamina.
ladle.
Yeah, he was trained on the ladle.
Yeah, that's right. He's not just
I was trained on the ladle, bitch. So he's running around the room, literally smashing hats and stuff. So okay, he gets them all down, runs around the corner. Oh, there's a whole other crew coming. So he goes back, actually picks up a couple of swords this time, and ends up taking
Poser.
Torquay. He gets
He does mention in the beginning, I think we skipped over it, he says to Torquemada when he comes to beg for his wife's release that he was a
was in the
soldier
army.
in Ferdinand's army.
Yeah.
as a cook though,
No, he's
said
a soldier.
soldier and-
and a
I'm
cook,
sorry.
and a chef.
Double duty.
Yeah.
Make a
Yeah.
little
So he had
He
some
knows his way
training,
with a sword.
but he was a cook, so I figured he had ladle training from
That's
that.
fair. That's fair.
That's where he
That-
started.
It all fits.
It
They
does.
did a very good job. It all fits so well. There was no holes in this
They
scene
covered-
whatsoever.
they covered
Well
the
done. Good writing. So he's got Torque Boy all tied up with knives.
I like
and
it
he's
better when he got it totally.
Tied up with
and then the wife is there, and of course she's got this stupid conscience that just keeps ruining everything.
Yeah.
She's like, don't be a murderer.
You're not a murderer. You're not a murderer. But this guy is. He needs to die. Look what he's gonna do. And then he promises on. He gives them their word. I will show you mercy. If you let me go, I promise I will show you mercy. So she convinces her husband, let him go. Drop the ladle. Don't hurt the man.
Yeah.
He promised. He's a man of the cloth. He has to keep his promise. He can't lie. She's such a believer.
Idiot.
Oh God. So of course, yeah, the instant he lets him go, he pulls this little rock switch, which drops some gates, and now they're in the perfect spot to be in prison.
No, it was
Good
such a
thing I
weird-
installed that.
It was like
man.
a Scooby-Doo switch.
Game
I've got
is
portcullis switches all over this
Yeah.
place,
Yeah.
every 3 feet.
And the Pope said this was a waste of money.
And when she says you promise you show mercy, his reasoning is death in this place is mercy. Wah, wah.
So I didn't lie.
Yeah.
So okay, they're trapped again, and I think this is where I dropped off for a few moments.
Yeah.
When
Jake
the,
lost
when
consciousness for a bit.
the cardinal comes in,
Oh, so I think we are at the part where the cardinal
Yes,
comes in.
that's
So
right.
this is
It's the perfect interlude for.
Oliver Reed.
During the card playing scene, we learned that the Pope is against the torture and wants
That's
it to stop.
Which is historically accurate, and the Inquisition fought against it.
And now the cardinal has been sent to enforce the will of the Pope.
By holy decree, and it's Oliver Reed, famous drunk Oliver Reed, and just doing a really good Italian
What else
accent.
do we know Oliver Reed from?
Gladiator, and he was in a bunch of Musketeer movies in the 60s, 70s. I don't remember, but he is he's really known on the stage too. Like for Oliver, I think the original version of that. He was good for that, but known mostly for us for him being notoriously drunk.
Okay.
Drunk on David Letterman, taking swings at him, I think, and what have you. Yeah.
All right.
Oliver Reed was known for that. Yeah. But he's basically wearing the big foofy red costume.
Yeah, he's all dressed in red.
Foofy.
Yeah, he's there. He's seeing all the torture and sort of being thinks he's appalled from it, by it.
Yeah.
But then he's
Clarity of language on our podcast is incredibly important.
absolutely. But then he says he's got a decree here from the Pope that's saying you have to stop and,
Cease and desist.
and that you have to come to Rome. And
Torquay's not having it.
Turk Broheim grabs it and lights it on fire. It's like, you never arrived. I never received this. And then they take him and with the cask of
Amontillado.
Amontillado.
They just take a little snippet from that and they brick him up and have this little conversation about, oh, this is God's will. Bullshit.
A lot of justification.
And this is what we're going to do to you because how dare you question what God wants. And now you're in here and he's like, please have mercy. Oh, we will. And bricks him up. There it is. He's done.
Yep.
Bye-bye,
No more
Cardinal.
Oliver Reed. Yeah, probably one day of shooting.
Yeah.
No one will ever miss you.
There was some alcohol drinking, and I can guarantee you in that scene that was not water, that they used real alcohol. I'm sure Oliver Reed insisted on it. So after we get that guy bricked up, I don't remember what happens.
Is this now, are we back to the rapey scene?
I think you were onto that, yeah.
Yeah, he goes in to have another chat with Maria, but this time he's pretty determined he's going to do some cop and feel, and we're going to get a little physical. So
he's like talking to her uterus or something.
yeah, he gets on his knees, and he's displaying kind of, you could tell that he's in conflict with his emotions.
Has he hallucinated her as the Virgin Mary?
This
yet?
is all
Okay,
happening during
is
this.
that-
That's like he looks at her and he sees her dressed as the Virgin Mary, and he gets on his knees almost and like he's bowing to
Reverence,
her
yeah.
in a sense, but he just so desperately needs her to confess. I need you to be pure. I can't have, but at the same time, I need to touch you. So he lays her down and he starts going up, doing all that.
Before this setup, there, so we see, like he's talked about it before, but it's the sword of Damocles thing?
Oh, right.
Yeah, where it's the sword hanging by a loose thread over his bed. Because death can happen. Death is certain. It can happen any time.
And he feels also that's his justification because he's giving God the ability to strike him down.
If he's doing the wrong thing.
If I'm doing the wrong thing, then why wouldn't God use this against me?
Fair enough. Yeah.
But he doesn't
Sound
because
logic.
Yeah,
Airtight.
Really airtight.
Airtight.
No holes. Oh,
Yeah,
great.
continue.
He's got the dangling sword. What am I supposed to say?
Continue raping.
So yeah,
Carry on.
she's crying and obviously hating every moment of it. And he's going, and then she decides
Well, she didn't want to get raped. She shouldn't have been wearing that peasant clothes.
that's her own fault.
She was asking for it.
Yeah, she's just a stupid witch anyway.
Yeah, how does it stop though?
Yeah, well, I think he actually crawls on top of her. She starts to invite it because maybe she's thinking that fine, maybe if I do this, he'll love me or he'll get off or he'll
I feel
let
like
me go.
isn't it? It's his inner conflict. He sees her as the Virgin Mary,
Yeah.
because he looks up at a painting that's behind her or something, and this is where we really get to see he is just in fact bonkers.
Yeah, he's
right, and
completely
he's
nuts.
just like, oh, I can't do this. I can't defile my virgin, right? I can't defile this woman.
But just before that, during the whole as he's doing it and copping a feel, she notices the sword is right about to break.
Yeah.
It's on its last thread, and she's thinking maybe if I can hold him here, just that.
He'll get him.
And then he gets up in an attack of conscience. Like, crap. Okay, well if I just stay here, then maybe it'll end me, and then that's just as good. Fine. And he, at the very last second, pulls her up because he sees it coming and it misses. And
Well, is this where he realizes for sure that she's innocent as well? Or does he kind of always know?
This is, yeah, I think he does, I think he always knew, but this is where he realizes that he can't go through with what he did, and what he just tried to do was very wrong. And she's gonna tell. So what are we gonna do to keep her from telling?
No, he knocks her out against the, like,
that's right.
And then carries her, and then it's not explicit, but it's fucking gross.
Grabs
Takes
these
scissors, takes her tongue out, and cuts it off.
Cuts her tongue off.
We don't see it. It's shot really well that it makes you
you don't
squirm
need to see
anyways.
it.
And it alludes to the pendulum in this scene because it shows drawings,
Yes.
a schematic of this new machine. It doesn't say new machine, but it's left
New
to
machine.
it's left to Acme. Ordered from Acme. It's Acme crates in the corner. My new machine must be here. So it shows the pendulum and it's like, oh, there's that.
Yeah.
Blood splatters across
Yeah.
it when he cuts off her tongue.
Yeah.
Now she's in her prison cell.
Throws her back with the old
She's
witch.
not doing so good.
No.
Not doing so good. She's bleeding heavily from
Yeah.
the whole tongue being cut out thing.
And of course the witch, the only solace she really has to offer is that, okay, well, let's go back to that place.
Yeah, it takes her back to the...
But it's almost like she hypnotizes her this time.
Yeah, she's teaching. I think that's, without giving away what comes up next, she's teaching her how to
Go out of body.
go out of body
Yeah.
and escape the pain.
It'll be like she's dead.
And be like she's dead, and that's what happens. Is she now appears to die?
Yeah, and she calls in the guards and says, look what you've done.
She's dead.
You heathens, you bastards, assholes, blah, blah, blah. She's dead, so okay, we get this body out of here, the rats are gonna come.
Yeah.
So they gotta haul the body out, but since this is a high profile murder, and the church has said that any more murders, whoever does the killing,
Yeah.
like no more women are allowed to die.
Yeah.
The next person that does it, that a death happens, they will be subject
Yeah,
to the torturous
so
ways.
they're all freaked out with like, wait a minute, Torquemada did
Like,
this.
why did you cut her tongue? We didn't.
Yeah, we don't
Thank
cut
God
tongues
we
out.
didn't kill her.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. We don't cut tongues out and they can't confess their sins.
Yeah, the three kind of stooges are like, I didn't do this. Did you do this?
A
I didn't do
vaguely
this.
comedic scene.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so now they doll up her body, they nice dress and everything, make her
Sorry,
look.
where's the husband at this point? He's still in his cell?
Yeah, he's
Okay.
still around, and they're still beating on him. I guess they don't really show it, but
Yeah.
he looks worse every time we see him.
Yeah.
And so she's all dressed, making her look like she was innocent, and that's what he says. He says, "I took her confession last night.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
was innocent.
She was innocent. So we're gonna give her a proper burial."
And what was her excuse again for how she dies? She cuts her own tongue out, I think is what he says, or...
They never did.
Maybe they did. I did gloss over that. I didn't.
He eventually, they don't figure it out, but eventually later on he blames it on the witches, the old witches. They're
Right,
blaming-
That's right.
Okay.
Oh, right. Yeah. He said the old witch did it. She's cast a spell on all of us. We've all been duped by
Yes,
her, so
yes.
she burns tonight.
That's
She
right.
must burn now. So even though she's only level 2, skip the torture, burn her. Okay.
But yeah, so they've got her dressed up all nice, like royalty, and she's in a stone crypt. This is important
It's
with
this-
a lid on it.
It's a very expensive. Like
Is it the same crypt from the beginning of the movie?
Yes.
Yes.
Essentially, or at least
Yeah,
the same,
same set.
idea. Yeah, they're
well, this guy's not using it anymore. He's in a clock.
Whether it was supposed to be the same one, they used the same set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she gets locked up in there.
In a
and,
nice fancy burial, and the husband sees this
Yes.
through the little window that he's got, so he's freaking out, crying. Now he's lost all ambition. He's like, it doesn't matter. He's kind of given up. Doesn't care. Do what you will. I don't care.
Yep.
And so now the witch is being hauled. Like she's got to get burnt right away.
Yeah.
And they have a little funny speech by Jeffrey, who's like, I'm really sorry about this. I know you're not supposed to get burned yet. You're supposed to be tortured. I apologize that you're only level 2, but this needs to happen.
Yeah.
So away we go.
The system's broken.
Yeah, I
What
apologize.
can I say?
She says something like, it happens or something
It
like that.
happens.
That would really make me feel, thank you. Give me a hug.
And how
Bring it in.
does she not say something to the husband as she goes by his cell?
I don't
Because-
remember that.
Yeah, because how does... Anyways, let's carry on. Maybe it'll
They end
jog
up
our
pausing
memory.
so that they can do a big public speech, and while they're making this public speech, I think it's
She's gobbling down gunpowder.
it's the
Yeah,
torker
this is-
that's talking to the crowd, and she's munching gunpowder, like packing it in.
Yeah.
So as she's doing, okay, now it's time to go up on the block and get burnt, and she curses everybody.
Yeah.
She says, "I am a witch, you idiots."
Yeah, I curse you all.
Come on closer, come closer.
And this is probably one of my favorite parts. So she does explode because of the gunpowder, and people are impaled with the shrapnel of her ribs
bones
and her
and stuff.
bones.
The executioner gets a bone right
yeah.
through his chest.
Another guy gets one right through the chin and up into it's
It's
so
amazing.
fun.
It's
Pretty
amazing.
awesome.
Chicken
Stuart
bones.
Gordon is always just the strangest times he decides to be funny in his movies.
Yeah,
And there are
it works.
Yeah, there's like a half a dozen times in this movie.
Again, our bar is set pretty goddamn
Yeah, I
low,
love
but
Stuart Gordon.
you know,
Now, this is the
This is where it's
second escape attempt by the husband.
yeah.
This is where they bring him back into the torture room,
And
and
they
he's
start-
already given up. He's laying there.
Are they using the pendulum? Is this what they use?
That's right. It's pendulum time. New machine.
It's pendulum
Right.
time. Get the t-shirts made up.
I wanna show you my new machine that I've just uncrated.
Uncrated.
It's
He did
here.
an unboxing video on
Amazon sent it in one night. They were amazing.
Loot crate. Look what happened this month.
$10 more would have had free shipping.
Yeah.
But oh well. Next machine.
Next machine.
Okay, he's got them all strapped up. He's gonna do this, and there's rats in this room. Rats start gnawing on his fingers. They're coming for his face and everything. And
And sorry, I think this is important for the history of fine-tooth combs, is that the rats have been painted black.
yeah.
They're obviously white rats that have had black soot or something rubbed on.
Yeah,
them.
to make them look black and greasy.
But they're only rats, so they didn't even make the IMDb if they died. It doesn't.
Yeah.
So one rat is on his chest going for the face, and the pendulum, as it swings, ends up cutting this rat in twain.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe to explain.
Sunder?
I don't know if everyone's ever seen like a pendulum torture thing, but it's basically a big swinging razor blade
Yeah.
that comes down in slow increments.
Yeah.
So you can watch it come down, then it slightly cuts you, then cuts you deeper and
Deeper and deeper
Yeah.
until.
And usually on the
Plus the
stomach.
psychological torture of watching
Yeah.
it come
Yes,
down.
and usually on the stomach because it'll hurt like hell and take a long time to die.
Yes. So this rat gets chopped in two, and he just barely, as he reaches so heavily, they took a long time to show that it took some effort to reach this rat.
Yeah.
And he grabs it, and he ends up squeezing the blood out of this half rat.
No,
Yeah.
it's pretty
all
gross.
over the rope that's covering his wrist. So now all
Rat
the
loop.
other rats,
Rat
even
loop.
though they have all this other meal over here, it's like, ooh, bloody rope. There's bloody rope here, boys. Forget this buffet. Did you see the rope?
The rope buffet.
So they all the rats seem to huddle in on the rope, and they
Yeah.
chew it free, and he gets out, and then
Just in
Just
time.
in time.
Just-
To get a
Just-
slight, he gets the tiniest
It's a
little
nick.
cut,
Yeah.
little nick across there.
Which they don't show, but at the end of the movie, like after the end of the movie, he actually dies of a staph infection.
Everyone had sepsis.
Everyone had sepsis at the end of this movie.
But
So-
at the same time,
yeah,
Torquemada is fighting. What's his face upstairs?
that's right. He turned
Uncle
his
Tito.
Uncle Tito,
Mendoza.
Mr. Stigmata Mendoza, turns on him.
He's
And
had enough.
well, after seeing that he declared Maria innocent, that's where he kind of was like, whoa, wait a minute, she was
also-
innocent,
he
and
also
we did all that to her.
He also walked in on Torquemada declaring that he loved her and wanted her.
That's right. So yeah, he's got some inside information.
He's like,
that-
you.
Because he was a true believer. Like, he believed in what he was doing
Yeah.
due to the torture, but he actually believed, and now he's seen the hypocrisy of it.
He also did mention in this scene for the first time that I was an innocent and you allowed me to live, and now she was an innocent, but you killed her and did all these bad things. And
This is messed up.
yeah, this is all fucked up. So damn you. So he ends up fighting with him and pushing him out of his window, and he lands. Oh, the pit has already opened because they're during the fight. They hit the lever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The pit opens. Mr. Baker is almost free, but his foot is still tied, and so now he's dangling above a bunch of spikes just with his foot.
The pit, yeah.
And as the pit door starts to close, it's conveniently got razor blades all over the door.
Yeah.
And it's about to
Razor
cut
teeth.
the rope that's keeping him from the spikes, so he's like, oh shit. So just as it cuts the rope to his foot, he grabs with his hands and
Is able to pull himself
yeah,
up.
you mentioned it was quite an exhilarating escape scene because it is like that person getting out of the half elevator.
Yeah.
Where it's like the
Yeah.
elevator slowly
yeah.
falling.
It was like razor blade elevator doors.
Yes,
You know?
so he's just narrowly again escaped
It was quite good. I liked it.
escaped death. So he gets out, and now
Torquemada.
Torquemada gets pushed out of his window. He lands but the door is open again.
Well, no, he also stabs him with the cross dagger. Remember? And he thinks
right.
that
He's got a cross that turns into a weapon. How Catholic. He already said it. He apologized for it. It's all good now. So yeah, he pulled and he stabs Mendoza in the stomach. So now he's wounded.
He's looking down on the escape scene, and then he alerts the guards, and the guards come to try it and get him after his daring escape from the pit.
This mere time, the pendulum is still swinging.
Yeah,
so
it's actually sparking off the ground.
Yeah, so the captain of the guards gets the fucking blade right in the side of the head.
Yeah.
Well, that's right. He's and for some reason little balls of fire ignite all around.
Oh yeah, he has a flame trap.
They activate the final level. Yeah.
Because they had plumb natural gas back then.
It looks like a Quake 3 map, really.
Yeah, pretty much.
So there's like, there's fire, there's a pendulum swinging, and now again, although he doesn't have his ladle, oh god, if he had that ladle. But he's dancing around all this and jumping in and out of, and pushing guards into the pendulum and getting, the captain got shot right now.
Right in the side of the head. We don't see that, but we see the awesome, like,
hat in half
in the Italian style blood, which is basically just really bright red paint. It looks awesome. Yeah.
And so he's taken on the masses again and winning because he's the best baker ever. I would buy his bread.
Fuck yeah.
And you've been through hell. I'll eat your bread for sure. And somehow Torquay ends up in the pit.
There's a fight. A fight ensues, and he falls down after no.
And Mendoza's not quite dead,
so he opens the pit.
So he opens the pit
that's how that
just in time for Torquemol to go down and
he's like Shang Tsung at the end of Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
He gets it through the side of the head.
Yeah, not right through the head. Like it's not a kill shot.
Through the side.
Through the side, up through the bottom of the jaw, and out to the cheek.
Super gross.
He's almost still twitching.
Yeah.
Oh, it's pretty badass.
Stuck on these spikes. At this point, the husband, the baker, I can't remember his name either.
His name is Antonio.
Antonio.
He runs to the crypt.
Yeah. And we'd actually seen beforehand that she'd woken up in the crypt.
In the crypt, that's right. And she's trying to get out, but it's
she'd been trying to get out during all this fight scene.
So it's been...
But she passes out because of lack of oxygen, I guess?
We assume... Well,
she also didn't use her leg muscles to push. She was trying to do it all upper body.
Yeah. her whippy little lady muscles.
Yeah, that was happening during the fight. Now that the fight's kind of over, he goes into the crypt and he's screaming no, and he's trying and he gets the top off, and she's lifeless again, not moving. And at this point, nobody knows she's still alive. He's just wanting to say his goodbyes, I guess, to his dead wife.
I think we actually got this out of order because she fingers Torquemada.
Fingers Torquemada.
Oh, we're sucking it.
In the context of a Stuart Gordon movie.
That's right. She sits up and she's like, this guy, and then she like uses her telepathy.
Uses the telepathy.
Right.
Okay, all you listeners, use your podcasting skills and just insert this little bit to before the fight.
And then, but the fight happens, but that's how he gets free. But then Torquemada is like, he's there, they've cornered him, and then she
sits up.
Yeah, she sits up, and then it's like...
Basically, Torquemada confesses.
Yeah, and it makes him go crazy.
And she sits up, it gets really creepy, like she's risen, as far as they're concerned,
and
she's back from the dead.
She's got telepathy now, the husband's like, I heard you talk, I heard you talk.
Yeah. I love you. Yeah.
It's like the beginning of Doom.
She can project her thoughts.
Yeah. She is a witch now. She's become
basically,
a witch.
Yeah, so she fingers Torquemada, and so then death is happening.
Yes. And that's when he's ousted, and that is like, okay, everybody knows he done it, and he says, oh, I cut your tongue out. He admitted to it, and... So then, I can't remember exactly how he ends up in the spiky pit, but he does still end up...
The final scene is kind of a clusterfuck. Like, a lot of different things are happening. The important points, listeners, are that she's alive. She basically is vindicated by publicly condemning Torquemada.
And Jeffrey says he has the records right there. I've been writing it down. The Inquisitor himself said that she was innocent.
Yeah.
So she gets to go free.
Torquemada dies, and then because of all of this, and Torquemada's apparent evilness, I guess, they let everybody go in the prison.
Well, that's right. They go, her and her
husband, they start like
Antonio, they go walking, unlocking doors, and it's like, wait, Jeffrey is back on the scene again, and he's got his book, He's always got this big ass book.
Yeah.
It's like, and whenever he needs to look up some of the code of torture, it's this instant flip there. I'm at the page. I found it. I had that book.
Well, hey, if you carried a book around that often, you'd probably know. You know,
Okay.
you open up your smartphone. I don't even need to look at the keyboard anymore. I
Page
know,
69, paragraph 3, subsection B.
There you go.
These people aren't allowed to leave, but he says that the baker and his wife can leave. They've been vindicated.
And they're basically like, F you.
Yeah.
They're all going free. Fuck you.
And then he does also say, like, okay, well, there will be more. Well,
There'll always be more.
And like
we'll get more.
the guards at this point are pretty much like, whoa, this is all really messed up. We're not even going to try to stop them. Clearly, God's at work here. And they walk off into the slimy cesspool sunset of Spain.
Wow. Of the time.
Of the time.
Oh,
I'm sure Spain is beautiful
Spain
today.
is lovely this time of year.
And that's the end of the movie.
And then they die of sepsis.
Sepsis. Yay!
Yay!
We did it. The Pit and the Pendulum. So we have a new rating system, Matt. You guys were you here last
They
time?
weren't here
No,
last
I
time.
missed the last two.
So our rating system was always super fucked up all the time. So we have a very simplified one. We're going to do it now. 1 star, hated it. 2 stars, didn't like it. 3 stars, liked it. 4 stars, really liked it. 5 stars, loved it. That's it. So I guess we'll start with Bunny. What rating would you give this?
4.5.
No fucking half measures.
I'm doing half. I'm doing a lip twerk.
Damn it.
You know, he's chewing like 4.5 Jeffries, okay? Well, if I have to, fine. I'm saying it, fucking 5 Jeffries. I love this movie. This is the second time I've seen it. It was just as entertaining as the first. It's not an Oscar contender by any means, but I loved it. Like, it was super entertaining, despite a bit of a clusterfucky ending. Clear story from start to finish, clear story arc, lots of creep factor. It was spooky.
There was full frontal.
Full frontal. Loved it. Loved the bush.
She had a multi-bush roll this time.
She did have a multi-bush roll.
2 bush scenes.
Two bush scenes.
Yeah, she was up for the task.
And I'm always up for some heavy-handed criticism of the Catholic Church. Straight up, there's my bias.
Okay, 5 from Bunny.
Yeah.
And Matt Attack.
I give it a 3.
3.
Ooh.
Liked it.
Wow.
I don't know.
Explain yourself, sir.
Justify.
I think there's actually not a lot going on story-wise, and I don't know how well it actually compares to the original short story.
Oh, there's also the Vincent Price movie from the 60s.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I've never seen. Never seen. But yeah, I mean, I thought. There's not a lot of Jeffrey in it, you know. There's not a lot of. Lance is amazing, but yeah, it's okay.
Just okay. 3.
Just alright.
3 from Matt Attack. Nini.
I would give it a 3 as well too. As
well,
someone
like-
who's seen the Vincent Price movie from the 60s, who's read The Pit and the Pendulum, and who took a history class on the history of the European witch trials, I would say that the dramatization and the accuracy was fun. That was movie fun. Like, I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it, but it wasn't like it didn't blow me out of the water. And as far as like some of the Jeffrey Combs movies we've seen, I definitely didn't like as much as some of the other ones, like say Reanimator or
From Beyond.
Yeah.
Sellers.
Cyclone.
I think I would rather watch Cyclone again.
Oh my
That
god.
being said, again, some of the acting was phenomenal. Maria really got on my nerves. Like, she just really, every time I saw her towards the end, I just wanted to like bitch slap her, like, stop yelling.
Keep the morality factor down.
I just then I felt like at the end they just kind of like they're like, how gruesome? How can we make this like? How much more torture can we add to this to make it so that it just became gimmicky? Like, and now we're going to stuff a banana up their nostril. Like, it's like, come on.
Oh, see, that's what I love about it. Like, that's
That totally did it for me too.
that's Gordon, right? I love that shit. Like, how gross can we get with this? In fact, that's why I was deducted points for my 4.5. Is I thought it could have been more tortury.
Yeah, how can I skeeve you out with sexual
They
content?
had a
That is his
quick
goal.
Iron Maiden scene.
They did?
Yeah, like
Pulling
because we're
someone
dealing
out
with the
of it
Spanish Inquisition, I wanted to see more of those implements of torture that we always see when people talk about the Spanish Inquisition.
When we did see gore, it was good.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Red
That's
paint
my
good.
critique.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tongue cutting out was
Yeah.
particularly well done.
That was a fantastic moment. I thought that was just the right, like, the splash, the arc of blood, and like,
Yeah,
that
we didn't get to
definitely,
see it
I
all.
recoiled. I recoiled.
Shan, what would you give it?
I would give it a 4, mostly because out of all of the movies that we watched, that one is the most interesting. And that's my
Or pretend.
Fucking dogs. So yeah, Shandy, the most interesting. Hold on a second. Here, I'm gonna edit this. What the fuck are they doing?
Human and canine babies with dicks.
I hope not.
Oh, you want to try that again, Shan? Like, do you have anything to say about it? Like 4 out of all the movies we've seen.
Because it was actually watchable. Like, I would have watched it and actually been, like, I would watch it and be entertained. I don't, like, love bad movies as a rule, so this was not, like, if you're entertained by shitty movies, which I'm not really, this one is not one of those.
Yeah.
It's like you could actually critique this as, like, a real movie.
Yeah. That's just it. Like, it was entertaining. I didn't want my time back.
So, out of Jeffrey Combs movies that we're probably gonna watch, I'll give it a 4. You just hit the dog in the face.
Give it a 4. Okay, Jake.
I am also going to give it a 4. It's almost a 5.
Yeah.
It is almost a 5. If we could do half measures, I'd
No.
give it a 4.5.
No.
But we can't, so I am going to give it a 4. And the reason being is that I loved this story. It obviously, I don't assume it's any real reality of like what really happened, but it does have that factor of like I can think back in my head like this type of thing did happen. People did have to go through this bullshit of like, oh, you're a witch, you're a witch, and then there's no fight. You can't do it. You can't prove yourself.
Yeah.
There's no
The
real system. It's just like
hopelessness.
the church is like, I say so, so it is. And
Yeah.
we're going to do all these awful things. So that adds to the creep factor
Yeah.
for me.
I think so.
We did get to see a couple of the methods of torture of the day. There was still a couple that I would like to see, like the thumb screw.
Yeah.
Would have been good.
Why do you guys want to see that
I don't know.
stuff?
If that's
I don't know. I don't know why I like to see
There's
because
a clear fascination with that sort of stuff. There's museums dedicated.
There were-
Like, it's messed up. It's fast. It's like a car crash. How many people drive by a car crash and like don't look? Most people are like, ooh, what happened?
Even though you
Yeah.
kind of don't want to see it.
Yeah, there's a morbid
No,
fascination with it.
so there was that fact, and that added to, even though some of the scenes were cheesy and corny and whatever, I was able to suspend disbelief better, knowing that there was some poor soul out there that had to deal with this crap, or that this was actually a thing that people did, the church did, like, what? And again, it's like it affirms my kind of loathing feelings towards religion, where it's like, this is the crap that you guys do. Other people who don't believe in yourself really don't do anything, and they get shit on. Whatever. That's a whole nother thing.
yeah, I'd have to.
I can't go all the way to
tuned for-
5, mostly because Jeffrey's just not in this as much as I think he could have been. He played a character that could have had a little more say, and every time he was almost like the comic relief.
Yeah, he totally was.
The
Yeah.
black comedy is mostly played off of him, actually, because he's sort of
The
a foil
apology.
for
Yeah.
I'm sorry we can't torture you, and it was heartfelt. It wasn't like he was
yeah.
being a dick. It was like, I'm really sorry we can't torture you further. I know we're skipping ahead
Yeah,
to the death.
Great little touch.
Please excuse, pardon our dust. What the fuck?
I'd have to agree, give it a 4. I think it was really effective at that feeling of hopelessness, because they kept getting caught in those little loops of no matter what you do, you're not getting out of this alive.
Yeah. All the excuses they tried to make. And what about this?
Yeah.
What about this? Nope, nope, nope.
Good little gore, lots of faces that we're used to seeing. Lance Henderson is fucking great. Jeffrey's good on what little he's in. He's quite good in it. Yeah, I'll give it another 4. So in general,
Jeffrey was Jeffrey.
we all enjoyed this.
Yeah.
But yeah,
just a matter of
very
how
good
enjoyed.
opinions.
Yes.
Yeah, so how Jeffrey is Jeffrey in this?
1.
1? Are you crazy?
Okay, no, okay, fine, 2. He's not very Jeffrey. He's not doing a lot of mouth acting. He's pretty serious. I mean, there's see, Jane Henry agrees with me.
He's very quick in and out. Like,
He's quick in and out. He's comedic, but kind of straight. He's straight-laced comedic, right?
Yeah, I mean, he just doesn't have a lot to work with.
I gotta give him a couple points just for this fucking outfit alone.
Yeah.
His little black pageboy thing with the stockings and the little shoes.
'Cause, like,
adorable.
Now, because we cleared up our rating system for the overall movie, let's clarify what our rating system is, how Jeffrey is Jeffrey. Me saying Jeffrey is 1 isn't I hate Jeffrey, just that he's
Not that active.
not full tilt Jeffrey in this.
He's not Reanimator Jeffrey.
No, and he's not even Cyclone Jeffrey.
No.
Fair enough. Fair enough. okay, we might as well talk about it. How Jeffrey is Lance in this film.
So Jeffrey. So Jeffrey.
Does he more than make up for it? What's going on in there? Like,
Yes and no. I mean, we watch for the Jeffrey, right? I always wish there's more Jeffrey. At least it wasn't like Cyclone, where he was in and out within the first 5 minutes of the movie.
yeah, we see him a little bit through the whole film, right?
Yeah. But oh my gosh, Lance, so much.
All right. Cool. I guess just move on to some trivia. You know, Stuart Gordon wanted Peter O'Toole to be Torquemada, but that fell through.
That's too bad, actually. I think Peter O'Toole would have played that with a little more sensitivity. not that Lance wasn't amazing.
Yeah. But you know what? I think Sherilyn Fenn was supposed to be Maria from Twin Peaks, and Billy D. Williams was supposed to be, what's his name? Mendoza. What? Instead of Mark Margolis. Can you imagine Black Billy D. Williams as the Spanish chief torturer? That would be interesting. But who knows? This is
historically
trivia.
inaccurate, but I'm willing to do some revision.
And this was shot in 3.5 weeks. That's all the trivia I have.
Wow.
3.5 weeks.
That's not bad.
Yeah, they killed it.
Nailed it.
Yep, and in terms of questions, not much. People, of course, gushing over what's her face?
Maria?
Yeah, Maria, what's her name? Rona Darishi, Oliver Reed. They're talking about him. He's in it for maybe a scene or so. Yeah.
Were rats killed in the making of this film?
Yeah, somebody asked that.
Who knows?
Who knows? It was obviously a rubber rat. There's no fucking...
Oh, no. I meant because of the black paint.
Oh, that's right. Oh, you mean like they covered him in paint and then it died from asphyxiation or something like that?
Or like the tiger in
Beastmaster.
Beastmaster. Yeah, just...
Okay, that sounds good. Well, I guess we might as well just move on to recommendations. Recommend anything you guys want. TV, movies, video games, I don't know, a meal you had recently.
Oh, if you haven't tried Afghan food, people, delicious. No, but seriously, it is delicious. We had it the other night. But we've also watched an oldie but a goodie, The Suburbs, with Tom Hanks.
Okay, first of all, it's called The Burbs.
I like calling it The Suburbs because every time I say The Suburbs, you get really upset.
Yeah, so you like saying it wrong because it pisses me off.
I'm laughing.
As long as we're clear that you're saying it wrong.
Yeah, so The Burbs with Tom Hanks.
Yeah, that was really good.
It was really good. It's got Corey Feldman in it.
Oh, Mr. Feldman.
As like the one punk in the neighborhood who basically lives there because it's entertaining.
It's a Joe Dante movie.
He has friends over to watch all the middle-aged people, their intrigue, and then you know the other names better than I do.
Oh, Bruce Dern's in it.
Yeah.
Carrie Fisher.
Oh, Carrie Fisher. But basically, yeah, it's about Tom Hanks. If you haven't heard of this movie, 80s, right? 80s, 89?
Yeah.
He's moved to the burbs not too long ago. He's taken a vacation from work because he's stressed out. And it's sort of like that, I think it's the Hitchcock movie.
Rear Window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sort of that idea. They think that the neighbors are up to no good, so him and his buddies are basically playing the role of three children, spying on their neighbors who they think are killing people.
Yep. It's a good movie.
Very good movie. Yeah.
Goofy.
Good popcorn movie.
Any recommendations?
Recommendations. I actually haven't seen a whole lot of TV lately.
Movies, anything? I know you're playing a shit ton of Destiny.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Play Destiny.
If you want to waste your life, play Destiny.
Yeah.
Works for me.
Hours and
Shandy,
hours and
anything
hours
you've
of
seen
fun.
recently?
Dragon's Den?
Apparently
No
watching
Dragon's
lots
Den.
of Dragons Den.
The #1 rated show which tells you nothing about it.
Dragons Den and PlayStation 4 game. Okay.
Yeah.
Matt Attack?
I have two recommendations this time.
No. Oh, he's got one.
It's two that are going to go fast. One is the YouTube interview between Comic Book Girl 19 and Lance Henriksen on her channel is amazing.
Oh.
Lance Henriksen is so great, and he does like a real straight up like 40-minute interview with her. Really good, worth checking out. The second thing I want to recommend is Dark Star, which features Dan O'Bannon. It's a classic 70s dark comedy sci-fi.
Is that Carpenter's first movie?
Yeah, it is.
Yes, Dan O'Bannon, he does amazing effects on that. Yeah.
It's basically the precursor to Alien. If you imagine the alien is played by a beach ball with hands.
Yeah, that's a strange movie like Space Cowboys. It's very weird. I like it a lot though. Yeah, good recommendation. Nini, do you have any recommendations?
We've been watching Homeland and we're addicted.
Oh.
If you haven't seen Homeland, it's actually a very well written and casted and acted show, all around solid. Drama, lots of twisties, but not overly
What season is that on now?
We just started
4 is
season
in.
2.
But
so.
4 is airing right now as we speak.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's all on Netflix, so it's
Nerd
fantastic.
Lots of variation of recommendations.
There we go.
Okay, we did it. Another one. Yay!
Hooray!
If you want to contact us, you can reach us at finetoothpodcast@gmail.com. Just need to say, my name is Jamie, my voice sounds like this.
My name's Bunny. My voice sounds like this.
My name's Janine, my voice sounds like this.
My name is Matt. My voice sounds like this.
I'm Jake. My voice sounds like this.
My voice sounds like this.
Goodbye!